watched a video today about like basically adding commentary to shorts that you find on TikTok and re-uploading them to YouTube. And I mean, it kind of on principle doesn't resonate with me, but like kind of worryingly for me, I guess, it kind of interested me a bit more this time. Um, it wasn't like straight up theft, but there's still like this commentary doesn't add anything, but like where my mind is at right now is like I still toy around with the idea of like how fruitful or beneficial is something if it's not having an effect. And so like I think I'm grounded enough to know that it's like okay, not about, the views and it's like, oh, well, like, the world isn't going to be the best barometer for like how quality, what you're putting out there is. But like I have to be honest, like, this is day 7. I mean, I haven't like given up on this, but I've just realized it's just like, holy cow, like I have a lot of life to live and like doing a video every day, I've really quickly just like, okay, once in a while I can kind of edit and chop it up and get excited with these ideas, but like the fact that I've committed to a day like every day, which I still think is a good thing fundamentally, it's like most of the time it's just gonna be one and done recording a video, and that's okay. A lot of principles of even just getting comfortable talking to the camera, it's important. But like, I did express at the beginning that I want to explore different ways and like where my mind is at right now is that like I don't want to like be on like my virtue high horse and be like, oh, well, like I'm not going to sell out and then like basically like commit myself to like, a YouTube experience of like pure mediocrity and being like, well, at least I did it right and I can kind of rest assured in that. And so I'm kind of curious with the idea of like, what if I tried to like do all of the trendy stuff and actually succeed in terms of like monetization or like getting views, just to almost prove to myself that I could if I wanted to, and then go back to making what I want to do. I think that would be the best route. I guess I'm a little bit worried that I'd kind of fall into the temptation that like if it did succeed, just kind of riding that out, especially if there was some sort of monetary reason to. And so I don't know, it's a bit I don't want to be a sellout, and that's why like the video today is kind of like, oh gosh, I hope I don't like look back in a year and be like, oh, like I had the angel and the devil on my shoulder, and I kind of folded and crumbled under the pressure. So I think I'm inclined, like I'm also thinking about the story of Pablo Picasso, where like I'm by no means a fan of his artwork. Like I kind of have the classic, like, what am I looking at? This is kind of really modern. But I think studying him a little bit in college and realizing that it's like he actually had technique down really well. And you feel like early on in his career as a student, like, yeah, he produced great quality art, you know, kind of reflective of real life and had great detail and technique. But it's like only in mastering the technique was he able to actually go in the direction that he wanted to all along. Maybe not all along. I mean, maybe he found his way along the way, but that same idea where it's like, would he even be a household name if he just kind of was competing in this world of technique? So, like, you know, yes, like I get that there's a point right now for me to just talk to the camera and get used to that, but like, I don't want to shove myself into this box of kind of amateur hour and mediocrity and play that off as me choosing the better part or something like that. Like I think things are going to constantly be moving. I mean, one thing is that like obviously like technology is min-maxed and TikTok is awful and brain rot is awful. So it's like if I'm contributing to people being online more and kind of consuming stuff like I mean, I feel like we all know how that goes, where it's like nothing's bad about these videos, but like they didn't really change my life to see, for instance, I was looking at this one guy's shorts and it's like, okay, this like student that's like doing push-ups with his teacher on his back. It's like wholesome, cool little like heroic moment, but it's like, okay, like, and what? And what? And what? So I I don't know because it's like if I'm going to go at this with the angle of like trying to learn the technique of like becoming viral, it's like I think I kind of have to like not get moral about it and by any means necessary and kind of steal these videos and do stupid like filler commentary that like I'm not saying anything. So it's like I don't know what my decision is going to be yet. I have to think about it a bit more. But I can tell like I either need to go all in and say that there's like nothing that's off limits for me just to like fully go on that route or to like think about it and kind of do it in a style that like I'm actually enjoying what I'm doing. So it's a confusing thing to be in, but it's like again, day seven, it's just like if this just becomes like a video diary, this is still like one step removed of like how I type and actually reflect. So it's like I also and it's like again, I wanted to do something new every day, and it's like I'm already feeling the fatigue of that because it's just like I'm doing all of these in the last 3 hours of my day where it's like there's just so many things going on in life. And then it's like, oh shoot, I have to do this video. Like there isn't a lot of excitement with it. I would say the third day was probably where the most excitement was because I was actually like really creating a video and getting into it. So, I mean, it's always going to be the name of the game is perseverance, and I recognize that. So there's I have to give myself some grace in that regard. But toying around with the idea, I'm hoping it's not like the Green Goblin mask kind of calling out to me, being like, "Come on, you gotta do the big viral thing, and you gotta make a TikTok account so you can find out like what niche you can go into, and just download these videos from TikTok and add my commentary with the subtitles." Like everything has a price, and I'm not sure if even though like I'm a thrifty person and it's like I'm obviously kind of looking at like this shining ability of like, oh, well, like this would actually get me much more towards like a monetization place. I don't know. I still can't really, I don't know what this is. Like I can't tell if that's what YouTube is supposed to be in my life, or if this is just purely meant to be like enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. And it's like obviously it is meant to be enjoyed, but I don't know if I can enjoy it if it gets two views every time, which is a really like harsh thing to say, but I actually think that that's pretty raw and true. Like there's definitely certain projects where it's like I I watch it over and over again as I'm making it. I love it and it literally doesn't matter. Like if people like it, because I know that like I unearthed more of myself through that. It's a little bit harder to do when like again there's just a video every day. So I'm also playing around with the idea because yesterday I did, kind of one that was under 60 seconds and I liked that because I tend to be a yapper, unfortunately. Like I can fill space conversationally pretty well and it's like kind of in my job I've been doing podcasts and things like that or like been giving talks, but I think there's a beauty in being concise. And so I think using some of this as an exercise in being concise, even if like tomorrow I'm you know, not, doing the whole like TikTok theft thing, like I think going shorter form with these daily videos is going to help me just practically. It's like I don't have to spend as much time with it, but I think it's also going to be a little bit more of a challenge versus like me me talking probably for almost 8 minutes or something like that. I don't actually know. It's a bit easier for me, and it's like it's a little bit more of an accurate snapshot of my mind. But I believe that there's a lot of beauty and conciseness, but I guess I'm not a huge practicer of that really in my day-to-day life, but then also with this. So I probably am going to shift into more concise things. I think I would want to land in like either things are short or I'm intentional about making kind of a longer expose like I'm talking about right here. But all this in between stuff, I don't think it's very watchable. I mean, my sense that like anywhere past 3 minutes but under 10 minutes, it's kind of like, what are you doing? But I don't know. I've watched a lot of good videos that are 6 minutes, so I don't know what I'm saying there necessarily. Again, this is going to be the most broad things. I'm still trying to chart the course of it. Um, but we'll see. I think right now feel called to more conciseness. We'll see if it's like full on, I go faceless and I'm not present anymore and I'm just doing, but I don't know. It really has kind of a dirty, disgusting feel on my hands to do something like that. But that could be me getting in the way of myself. And there could be a redeemed way of doing it too, of like it doesn't need to be like, you know, like clickbaity, why did I just watch this sort of thing? And not malicious, but again, just kind of filler. I mean, there could be like a real search of good stuff. I guess actually speaking to myself, I've done that a little bit in terms of like specifically like religious motivational content. I've dabbled in that a little bit, but I don't know. Again, this is really the most like half-baked thought I've had so long, so far for this video. So I mean, if you come back in a month and you see I'm just like complete sellout, you can let me know I took the wrong path or something like that. But we'll see. Again, all in the spirit of exploration. All right, peace.